Hello lovely book dragons, and welcome back to the second vlog in this Hunger Games Reread Rewatch 10 Years Later series. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I will link the Hunger Games vlog up here in the cards. This is a collaboration that I'm doing with one of my booktube besties, Sophia of at Sophia's Thoughts, which I will leave her channel linked down below. We decided that we would reread and rewatch the whole Hunger Games trilogy, and we're doing that. And I have the first vlog where I reread the first book, rewatch the first movie, and this is the vlog in which I reread the second book, Catching Fire, and rewatch this movie, which they were my favorite 10 years ago, and I cannot wait to just rediscover everything. In all honesty, last night I started reading it and I got to page 245, so I'm over halfway through this already, but I want to talk about what I've already read, what I'm thinking, and then we'll read the second half together and we'll watch the movie together and we'll just talk all things Catching Fire. So the first thing I want to talk about is that I didn't remember that it takes this long for the quarter quell to be a thing. Like right now, the quarter quell has been announced, the rules of the quarter quell have been announced, and Katniss has been, of course, picked. She's the only girl victor from District 12, and Peeta has volunteered to take Haymitch's place. And they just rewatched the video of Haymitch's Hunger Games, which was the 50th Hunger Games, so the second quarter quell. And I didn't remember that it takes half of the book to get in there. I have so many vivid memories of Finnick Odair that I honestly thought, okay, whatever, we get the point. So there are a few things I want to talk about. The first thing, and this is something that I mentioned in my Hunger Games vlog, is the whole District 11 thing. I think that the movies just took away the fact that District 11 censored the bread after she does the thing that she does to Rue, that she covers her in flowers, and that she censored the District 12 salute when she dies. So this is when they are in District 11 and she cannot talk. She's very emotional about being there. She was really scared even that Thresh's family and Rue's family would be angry at her for killing the kids. I mean, she didn't do it, but she was really scared. And Peeta is being Peeta, and he doesn't know about the whole President Snow being angry at especially Katniss, and he's just oblivious and he thinks everything is fine and dandy. And he says the whole that they're gonna give him the money for like 1 month of their money for as long as they're alive to the families of Rue and Thresh, and everyone is like, wow, this is phenomenal. And then they're about to stop talking and Katniss is like, no, wait, I gotta say something about them. So she talks a little bit about Thresh and how he saved her life, and then there's this. I turn to Rue's family, but I feel as if I did know Rue, and she'll always be with me. Everything beautiful brings her to mind. I see her in the yellow flowers that grow in the meadow by my house. I see her in the mockingjays that sing in the trees. But most of all, I see her in my sister Prim. My voice is undependable, but I am almost finished. Thank you for your children. I raise my chin to address the crowd, and thank you all for the bread. I stand there feeling broken and small, thousands of eyes strained on me. There's a long pause. Then, from somewhere in the crowd, someone whistles Rue's 4-note mockingjay tune, the one that signaled the end of the workday in the orchards, the one that meant safety in the arena. By the end of the tune, I have found the whistler, a wizened old man in a faded red shirt and overalls. His eyes meet mine. What happens next is not an accident. It is too well executed to be spontaneous, because it happens in complete unison. Every person in the crowd presses the 3 middle fingers of their left hand against their lips and extends them to me. It is our sign from District 12, the last goodbye I gave Rue in the arena. I have goosebumps from this scene. I don't know if you can tell on camera. I have goosebumps. I love that scene so much, and this is why I think it's too bad. I know that this scene kind of happens in the movie, but it's so much more emotional because there's the bread connection between them, and I just think that this is wow. The other thing I want to talk about is about Katniss's relationship with her mother, and how she used to be so angry at her mother for kind of shutting down after their father died, which makes sense. But she was always angry at her, and she couldn't understand that she couldn't get herself together, that she couldn't get a grip on the situation for her daughters. And now that Katniss is out of the arena and has all those nightmares, she says, my time in the arena made me realize how I needed to stop punishing her mother, for something she couldn't help, specifically the crushing depression she fell into after my father's death, because sometimes things happen to people and they're not equipped to deal with them. And I love that she's finally starting to realize that her mother was just depressed, and that her mother was handed a situation that was just too much, and that she couldn't help herself. And now that she understands it, I think it's beautiful. And something I love also is that we have the 3 victors from District 12. So we have Haymitch, we have Peeta, and we have Katniss, who all deal with trauma in a completely different way. Katniss has completely isolated herself from almost everyone. She doesn't even talk to Peeta that much anymore. She, of course, still talks to her parents, to her mom and her sister, but she isolates herself in the forest. She still goes out there, tries to be alone as much as possible. Peeta, he has started to paint because he needs to express what he feels and what he thinks through the paintings. And Haymitch is an alcoholic, and something I really, really liked, and I don't know if I'll find the scene again, but it's when Katniss has all those nightmares and Peeta comes and calms her down, and at some point she says to him something along the lines of, how come that I never hear you during the night and I can never comfort you the way you comfort me? And he says, I just don't wake up screaming. And I absolutely love that, because it shows that people process things differently and people suffer differently. My anxiety looks different from your anxiety if you have it. My depression looks different from your depression if we both have it. PTSD looks different for everybody. Some people are going to be loud about it and talk about it. Some people are going to suffer in silence and not say anything. Some people are going to isolate themselves. Some people are going to drown themselves in an activity. It can be art, it can be sports, it can be anything. Some people drown themselves in substance abuse. Everyone copes with the stuff that we're thrown at differently, and I love seeing that in these books. It's just so good. The exploration of the PTSD, of grief, of everything that's happening to them, I just love in this book. So those were the themes and the ideas that I already wanted to discuss with you from what I've read. Other than that, I am loving seeing, like I said, all these things. I'm loving seeing her and Peeta again kind of interacting, and her being so uncomfortable also around Gale, because he tells her that he loves her and she says, I know. And I just think Katniss, just leave her alone, you know? She doesn't want to be in all this romantic stuff right now. She just is trying to survive with everything that's happening and the threats from President Snow. And then she sees those people that are going to District 13, and the first seeds of maybe there is something beyond District 12 are being planted in her head, and she's starting to see the cameras and the pictures of District 13 always being the same ones. So that's in terms of plot where we are at. So like I said, she just found out that she's going back in the arena, and Peeta has just found out that, well, he volunteered to save Haymitch's life, and Haymitch and Katniss have this deal that they want to keep Peeta alive, and she's going in with just like, I'm going to save Peeta's life. I am the one that started this whole shenanigans. I'm the one who had the idea with the berries. It's me thereafter. We're going to save Peeta. I'm going to make sure he survives, and that's what I want. So that's kind of where we're at. They have been watching the videos of previous tributes to see, or previous victors, I should say, to see what they're up against, and that's kind of where we're at. And now I'm going to go and binge the second half of this book, so probably I'll just be back when I'm done, because I just can't stop it, guys. Like, these books, they fly by. Hey guys, it is now Sunday, and I finished Catching Fire on Thursday, as well as the movie was watched on Thursday. So first of all, I want to come and talk about the ending of this book, and then talk about the movie. I honestly don't really remember. I think I was about halfway through when I last updated you, and then I was at the part where they watched Haymitch's games, and then they were about to go in the arena. Of course, I love the scene, and I'd completely forgotten the whole baby scene where Peeta says that when Caesar asks him, oh, but at least you had some time together, right? It's better than none. And he says, yes, I don't have any regrets if it weren't for the baby. And I forgot about that. And one of my favorite scenes happens right after that. And it is when the victors all start holding hands. And this is how it goes. And then it happens. Up and down the row, the victors begin to join hands. Some right away, like the Morphlings or Wyrus and Beatty. Others unsure, but caught up in the demands of those around them, like Brutus and Inobaria. By the time the anthem plays its final strains, all 24 of us stand in one unbroken line in what must be the first public show of unity among the districts since the dark days. You can see the realization of this as the screens begin to pop into blackness. It's too late, though. In the confusion, they didn't cut us off in time. Everyone has seen. And I love that, because we see during the individual interviews that all of the victors are kind of making a plea for, why are you doing this? You promised us that if we competed in these stupid games of yours and we won, we would never risk this again. And all the victors kind of tease the fact that cancel the games, change the law. You made it, so you can change it. And here is the final show of them being all together. But it doesn't matter in the end, because that's the thing that the Capitol knows and President Snow knows, is that you put them in the arena, they're still gonna kill each other, and then it ends. Like this was a one-time thing, and then you see them go into the arena, and there the games begin. And I really like this arena with the clock and how they figure it out and everything. And I honestly didn't remember how it ends. I've forgotten so much. It's been 10 years, guys. So yeah, I loved this whole them teaming up with Finnick and Mags was so sad when she sacrificed herself. And something that was heartbreaking, of course, was when Cinna was beaten in front of Katniss, and how they have that scene where she goes into the tube to be transported into the arena, and she's there, the door's closed, and nothing happens, and she's like, what is going on? And then the peacekeepers come and start beating Cinna, and that is just so sad. And how she goes into the arena already being emotionally distraught, already being completely lost and like a mess because of what they did. And when she arrives in the arena, she realizes like that is stuff that you don't get in the movie. So this is right when she arrives in the arena, right after she sees Cinna's death. So I'm gonna read this to you because I thought this was amazing. The peacekeepers ignore me completely as they drag Cinna's limp body from the room. All that's left are the smears of blood on the floor. Sickened and terrified, I feel the plate begin to rise. I'm still leaning against the glass when the breeze catches my hair and I force myself to straighten up. Just in time, too, because the glass is retreating and I'm standing free in the arena. Something seems to be wrong with my vision. The ground is too bright and shiny and keeps undulating. I squint down at my feet and see that my metal plate is surrounded by blue waves that lap up over my boots. Slowly, I raise my eyes and take in the water spreading out in every direction. I can only form one clear thought. This is no place for a girl on fire. Oh, that's like, bam! Like, I feel like so many things here are like, take this, in your face, and the messages that they sent, it's so good. Another thing I really liked in the books is we start seeing that Katniss is still very much conflicted about her feelings towards Peeta and Gale, especially with everything in the beginning when Gale tells her he loves her, and she's like, I don't have time for this. Guys, there is no time for love right now. I just want this whole thing to be over. I just want to leave in peace and leave me in peace. So, however, this is a scene when he gives her the pearl and they talk, and Peeta says he wants her to go home because she has her family and no one needs him, but so many people rely on Katniss. And he says, no one really needs me, he says, and there's no self-pity in his voice. It's true his family doesn't need him. They will mourn him as will a handful of friends, but they will get on. Even Haymitch, with the help of a lot of white liquor, will get on. I realize only one person will be damaged beyond repair if Peeta dies. Me. And that is so beautiful. I love that so much. And just their relationship, how it develops over this book, I just really love it. I just really love it. So Catching Fire, the book, I really love it because I honestly had forgotten how much time we spent pre-games, which is something that the movie did differently. The movie spent more time on the games and more time on all of the preparation to the games, where the whole first part of this book, where it's just the aftermath of the games, the aftermath of the spark of revolution that she sparked, that is, you see a little bit of that, of course, in the movies, but not as much as in the book. So I love that about the book more than I did about the movie. However, the movie got me so emotional. So emotional. I had finished this book, and then like 3 hours later, we started watching the movie with Sophia, and I teared up at so many scenes. I couldn't even believe it. I teared up when Katniss has her nightmare and she yells and Peeta comes and he comforts her. That was just so beautiful. And honestly, in the movie, you have more of that they love each other. Their romance is more played out, but it feels real. And which is funny because of Mockingjay, real or not real. But when this scene happens where Peeta tells her no one needs me and she says, yes, I need you. And they kiss in the movie, and it's just, that kiss was so good. It's just like, there I felt it. There I felt that actually they love each other. And I love that so much. I teared up at so many scenes. I don't even remember at all the scenes I teared up at, but I had tears in my eyes the whole time in the movie. I just loved when the reaping, that was a scene that was just so emotional in the movie. When they announce, okay, it's the old victors that get to go again. And of course, Katniss, there's only one name. Effie's face when she goes and she's all choked up and you can tell she is so sad that Katniss has to go back in the arena. And she grabs her name and she says, Katniss Everdeen, but like the way, if you compare the first reaping and this reaping, the even Effie, who's like, the capital is beautiful, everything is phenomenal in the capital, even Effie is distraught and she's so sad, and then she tries to do her best to cope with it. And again, we talked about coping mechanisms earlier, and hers is that everyone has to wear something gold. Peeta gets an amulet, Katniss of course has her pin, she has her hair, and Haymitch gets the bracelet, which she then later gives to Finnick, and that was so emotional. And when Effie pulls out Haymitch's name as the male tribute for District 12, there was this second of relief in her voice, but then of course Peeta immediately volunteers, and there's nothing they can do because he volunteered, and it's just so sad. So yes, all in all, I absolutely still love this movie and this book. These I knew would probably hold up more than any of the other two. Mockingjay was always my least favorite. The Hunger Games I really liked, but I knew I loved Catching Fire, and it's still the case. I still love Catching Fire, and the movie was so great. I think that's one movie that I will probably rewatch a few times. Oh, I just wanted to do one last scene that was really funny, that I thought was so much better than in the books, and that is the scene where Joana strips in front of everyone in the elevator, because they all have amazing faces. Like Haymitch is like, yes girl, and Peeta's like, I don't know where to look, and Katniss just like, ugh. I just loved all of their faces. That was so great. So there you go, guys. This is my video of Catching Fire 10 years later. I absolutely love it still. This book definitely holds up even more than I thought. This one, I discovered so many more things that I had forgotten about and that I probably didn't even pick up on my first read 10 years ago. So this book definitely still holds up. I absolutely love it. I gave it 5 stars again. Great. Great book, and great movie as well. Don't forget to check out Sophia's video, which I will leave linked down below, and I will also leave our last week's videos where we talked about the Hunger Games. So don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more from me, and until next time, happy reading. Bye guys.